everyone, welcome back to another episode of PHT TV. A few weeks ago, Corey and I spoke with Fidelity Imports' Eric Smith one more time to go over the Q Acoustics line that PHT has brought on board recently. This kicked off our dive into Q Acoustics, and following that we jumped into the 3000 series bookshelves in one episode, which was the 3010i, the 3020i, and the 3030i. Next we jumped into the 3050i and Concept 50 towers on the next episode. If you guys missed any of those episodes, make sure you go back and check them out. Now, as I mentioned in last week's episode, as well as the one before that, instead of kind of diving into a single item one by one per video, we are going to cover several each episode. This week we'll be talking about filling out your system and turning it more into a full home theater style setup. By that I mean centers and subs, and more specifically the 3090 Ci and the B12 Sub. While this obviously isn't really going to be a side-by-side type of comparison like the last couple of weeks have been, I still wanted to unbox together to round off the videos about Q Acoustics, and also to discuss as many available options as possible. Now, without further delay, let's go ahead and dive right in and start off with the 3090 Ci. First off, we are going to have our moisture bag. Don't eat this, as I've said on plenty in the past. Next, we are going to have our 3000i series owner's manual. This is going to be identical to the ones that we've unboxed in the bookshelves as well as the tower speaker. Next, we are going to have our port plug, which we've seen in every Q Acoustic model we have unboxed so far. And let's get to the center. All right, so here we have the 3090 Ci out of the box. Now, first note that I'm going to make is that these centers are designed to pair perfectly with the rest of the 3000i series speakers. As such, the appearance will be very similar, and they will come in the same color options of graphite gray, English walnut, carbon black, and Arctic white. This one's obviously black, but you've seen all of the available colors in last week's video and the week before that video. You'll also have the same high frequency drivers and similarly designed low frequency drivers. In this model, you have dual 4-inch drivers sandwiched between the 22mm high frequency drivers. It crosses over at 2.7 kilohertz, has a frequency response of 75 hertz to 30 kilohertz, a sensitivity of 89 dB, and is 6 inches by 16.9 inches by 8.5 inches. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on the center as we've kind of covered everything in the 3000i series over the last couple of weeks. I mainly just wanted to pull it out of the box and give you guys the opportunity to see it on its own. Let's go ahead and change gears and crack open the B12 Sub and see what that's all about. So we have our accessories box here. All right, first we're gonna have our Q Acoustics B12 owner's manual. Then also in the box we have our plate to cover on the back end there. Then we have a pair of gloves for handling the sub without getting fingerprints on it, which I'm actually gonna save to put on later because taking it out of the box, you don't wanna put these on until after you take off the cloth portion there. And we have our subwoofer feet. Additionally, we have our power adapters. Now it does appear that we are on the top of the subwoofer, so I'm going to roll it over, get our box out of the way here. And this is the part where I'm going to want to put on my gloves. And then screw on the feet as such. Now, these do also have removable plastic caps, so they can be spike feet if you're on carpet. I'm going to go ahead and leave those guys on there. We're going to roll it over. Here we have our Q Acoustics B12 subwoofer in gloss black. All right, so here we have the Q Acoustics B12 subwoofer. It has a 12-inch long throw driver with a 50mm voice coil powered by a 220-watt Class D amplifier. It is a sealed cabinet design and will dip down to 28 hertz at the low end. It sits at 16.8 inches by 15.7 inches by 17.3 inches, so it is fairly compact by subwoofer standards. One cool little side note about this sub is that it is designed to be cross-compatible. I guess all subs are designed to be cross-compatible, but what I mean is aesthetically, it's designed to be cross-compatible with the rest of the Q line. You'll notice on the website that it does actually come in 2 different whites and 2 different blacks, which allows it to match color with both the 3000i series as well as the Concept series, and you can choose your color based on the rest of your system. So we have a gloss black here. There's also a gloss white as well as a matte white and matte black. One other thing that I find interesting is that the grill is not removable. I leave my grills on most of the time to prevent damage from kids, from animals, from myself, but more than anything else, I just wanted to look inside and kind of show it off to you guys for the video. Not really a concern, but more of a point of mention in case that is a deal breaker for some reason for any of you guys. That's gonna be about it. That is the Q Acoustics B12 Sub and the 3090 Ci. I think that's gonna be about all for Q Acoustics coverage for a while, so before we leave, I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything out that we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. You can kind of see it behind me, but I'm gonna pull it forward and put it side by side to kind of give you guys one last look at Q Acoustics before we pack everything back up. All right, guys, this has been Q Acoustics. Behind me, we have everything we have unboxed over the last couple of weeks. We started with the bookshelves, the 3010i, 3020i, and 3030i. Then we moved on to the tower speakers, the 3050i and the Concept 50 speaker. And following that, today we covered the B12 subwoofer and the 3090 Ci. That's gonna be about it for Q Acoustics for a while. If you guys like what you see and wanna get a set of Q Acoustics in your home, make sure you give Paducah Home Theater a call. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, drop a comment below and we'll be happy to assist further. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you again soon for another episode of PHT TV.